The Delhi High Court dismisses Kuldeep Singh Sengar's plea seeking suspension of his 10-year sentence in the custodial death case of Unnao rape victim's father. In April 2018, the family of the minor rape victim had travelled to Unnao for a court hearing when her father was brutally assaulted by the accused persons in broad daylight. The very next day, the police arrested the father on allegations of being in illegal possession of arms, and he had ultimately succumbed to multiple injuries suffered by him in police custody. Sambhav Sharma is joining me with more details. Sambhav, this is a welcome verdict. What more can you tell us?
Well, here in a setback to Kuldeep Singh Sengar from Delhi High Court in the case of the custodial death of rape survivor's father. The Delhi High Court has dismissed Kuldeep Singh Sengar's petition seeking suspension of the trial court's order of 10 years of rigorous imprisonment in that particular case. And here it's a setback at 2:30 p.m. The Delhi High Court single judge bench has refused to stay the trial court's order, and this is what is the breaking from the Delhi High Court in Kuldeep Singh Sengar's case. Remember, earlier Delhi High Court has dismissed his sentence in another case on 23rd of December, which was later on stayed by the Supreme Court. And now in this separate petition in the Delhi High Court, where Kuldeep Singh Sengar is sought a stay on the sentence of the trial court, because earlier, as you rightly pointed out, trial court had granted 10 years of rigorous imprisonment sentence to Kuldeep Singh Sengar in the custodial death of the rape survivor's father's case, where father allegedly died during the custodial torture, and where culpable homicide case was made out against Sengar, and he was given 10 years of rigorous imprisonment under 304 of Indian Penal Code. That particular sentence was challenged by Kuldeep Singh Sengar in the Delhi High Court, and today in a setback from the Delhi High Court. And see, it is up to we are waiting for the final order, the written order of the Delhi High Court, which will be uploaded on the Delhi High Court's website very soon. But for now, the High Court has refused to suspend Kuldeep Singh Sengar's 10-year suspension, 10-year sentence in the custodial death case. Court has dismissed Sengar's petition seeking suspension, and this particular case is relating to the custodial death of the rape survivor's father. Trial court in March 2020 convicted Sengar and awarded 10 years of rigorous imprisonment. And survivors, because what was the case, the background of the case is that Unnao rape survivor's father was arrested in the Arms Act and allegedly assaulted in custody. Later on, Sengar was convicted by the trial court in 2020 March and awarded 10 years of rigorous imprisonment. That particular sentence Sengar challenged in the Delhi High Court, and today in a setback to Kuldeep Singh Sengar from Delhi High Court, the Delhi High Court has dismissed Kuldeep Singh Sengar's petition. Earlier, Delhi High Court had suspended his sentence in a different case, in the Unnao rape main case, but later on Supreme Court stayed that suspension. So all in all, Kuldeep Singh Sengar will remain in jail.
All right, stay on with me, Sambhav. I have Brinda Adige, who is a social activist, joining me on the broadcast. You know, Brinda, this is a welcome judgment, really. The fact that Kuldeep Sengar will now stay in jail seems to be really good news. Now, I want to talk to you about the fact that, what does this judgment signify for accountability in cases involving custodial deaths?
Yes, this is not just welcome, it is the correct thing that the court has done. Because if it had done anything otherwise, it would have set a very, very wrong, bad precedent, both in letter and spirit of the law. Now, what does it do for custodial deaths is to pull up the police, pull up the state agencies and ask them to be accountable. Not only that, it is also talking about the of senior officers in the police department to also be roped in and given that the report that they are supposed to give. But everything said and done, it is talking about a convict, not necessarily this man having all political connections, which he has, of course, both inside and outside the jail. But to say that even if you are a politically, a man with political patronage and influence and money and power, you will be held accountable. And that is the message that must go across for all of us to strengthen our confidence in the law and strengthen our confidence in the courts. Though it has been taken a very long time to come to this kind of a stage, we also want the courts to look at speedy disposal of such cases and speedy hearings of these cases, which is also part of the Justice Verma Commission. But all said and done, we are still waiting for the final verdict.
And Brinda, you were talking about the fact that political power is misused. Really, now what if I ask you what reforms are urgently needed to prevent misuse of political power in sensitive cases like this?
I think we mustn't even talk of sensitive. We must talk of all such cases, because we know that every case somehow or the other embroils some political patronage or some politician. Everything going forward, there is an urgent need for police and judicial reforms, because today the nexus is very strong between the police, the judiciary, the prosecution, and politicians and influential people. Until and unless we have the judicial reforms, placing everybody in their positions to be accountable for every step of the case, for every hearing of the case. Right now, a lot of it is left to the judiciary's discretionary powers, and we are not allowed to question or challenge the judge, which is a very, very colonial clause that we have not given up over the last 79 years. And that is where we want the judicial reforms to come in quickly, and we want the police to be held accountable, because even today, suo motu cases and statements made by the police is not accepted by the court, like in British India. We are talking of India that is governed by a constitution where every agency must be held accountable and responsibly accountable. The judiciary can't say, I don't trust the police, when police is our first and immediate arm for protection and safety.
All right, Brinda, thanks for joining me. I have Yogita Bhayana, who's an activist, who's also joining me. And viewers, this man on your screen, Kuldeep Sengar, he's going to stay in jail, and that is perhaps a welcome move, really. It's really good news for the victim. But Yogita, the fact that this took so long, as Brinda was also mentioning, what do you have to say about that?
See, this is one of the cases where he has been rejected the bail. There are multiple cases on him. So that's the Brinda, which she was pointing out in journal, was about how it can go through the complication of judicial system and the system. That is very much when we are involved. Definitely this gets highlighted only because of the media. And people like us also, we are able to reach to the victim because we get to know through media. And otherwise, what is the plight of a victim who has no support? What is the plight of a victim whose case is not highlighted as Unnao? Because every day we are dealing with judiciary and police, with the victims of sexual crimes and rapes. But not every case has this fate. Not every case we can go and protest on roads, So why it is not on autopilot, I think this is what she was trying to get to the attention. There is no, the nature of that law which works independently. It works through pressure, works through media, it works through activism. Why can't they just be fair on their own, in their own nature? Which is really a very gray area. This is very deep in terms of, we really need to see, it's very negative, it's very dark, that in this country, to get justice, you have to go through all these things. You have to have some connection, some media attention, some activism, some protest. Is this the way we can seek justice for every victim? I don't think so. We really need that powerful judicial system, powerful system which protects each and every daughter, irrespective of the background where she comes from. Victim is a victim, and every victim deserves sensitive attention.
And also, Yogita, my second and my final question to you is that, do you believe that this judgment can act as a deterrent against custodial violence in the future?
Absolutely, it should, I believe. But, we have our expert police, which doesn't show its expertise protecting the rights of the citizens. It protects the rights of the policemen. I have so many cases. Even now, one boy is in coma for last 10 years because police shot him out of rage. He's an innocent boy, lying on the bed of one hospital in coma for last 10 years. That police personnel is still not suspended. He shot him just out of ego. So we have so many cases going on about police atrocities. So I don't think so it will be a deterrent because no action has been taken against the police officers. It has been taken against the singer for sure, but what about the cops who were involved? So till the time we just don't need suspension. We don't need termination. We need punishable action against the cops. Then only maybe it will be a deterrent. Till now, they can easily manipulate the law. They know how to manipulate the law and, the system. So they get away with it. Unfortunate.
Absolutely, Yogita. You've made a very fair point there. What about the cops that were involved in this? That really is a question here as well. And I want to go across now to Sambhav Sharma. Now, Sambhav, I want to talk to you about the fact that, what evidence did the prosecution rely on to establish custodial violence in this case? All right, we're going to try and reconnect with my colleague Sambhav Sharma, but viewers, finally justice delayed but served. Kuldeep Sengar, the man on your screen, stays in jail. I have Sambhav Sharma joining me. Sambhav, I was talking to you about the fact that, I want to know from you, what evidence did the prosecution rely on to establish custodial violence in this case? All right, we seem to have a problem with the connection there, viewers, but of course we're talking about this very important verdict. The court, of course, has denied bail to Kuldeep Singh Sengar. And this, of course, is the big breaking news at this point, about which NewsX is getting you every detail. The Delhi High Court has dismissed Kuldeep Singh Sengar's plea, seeking the suspension of his 10-year sentence in the custodial death case of Unnao rape victim's father. Sambhav Sharma is joining me. Sambhav, am I audible to you? Sambhav, the question that I want to ask you is that, I want to know from you, what evidence did the prosecution rely on to establish custodial violence in this case? That is my first question. And I also want to know the grounds, the key grounds on which the Delhi High Court dismissed Kuldeep Sengar's plea for suspension. All right, we